Hi, I'm Rick Drayson. Welcome to Tuff and Tender. This is a show that brings you tough challenges with tender solutions from the masculine point of view. You know, there's two sides to every guy. There's the tough side, brother, and there's the tender side, brother. And in wrestling, I always had to be the tough guy, and at home I had to be the tender guy because I had a family. So I want to talk a little bit today about commitment, because we get up every morning and we commit ourselves to doing something. I commit myself to having breakfast. I commit myself to going to the gym. That's a different commitment. But when you have a partner, you commit to that partner, and that partner expects the commitment from you and expects you to keep it. And it's really hard for some people to make a commitment and stick with it. They sit on top of the fence. They don't know which way to fall. They should fall over. They should fall this way. And the worst decision is indecision. So in a commitment, we're going to talk about romance. We're going to talk about the family commitment, and we're going to talk about friendship, because you have a commitment to all those. And you have a relationship with everybody in life. I mean, I have a relationship with my gardener. I have a relationship with my mailman. He's going to be on time. These are commitments that they keep, that I keep, and it keeps life moving. So there's a good side, there's a tough side to handle this, and there's a tender side. The tender side usually works better because you can get a lot done being nice. If you're nasty, you're not going to get a lot done at all. I want to introduce Erin Tillman, my chat girl over there. She's the chat diva.
Woo.
Who has whipped herself into really top shape today. I was telling her how great she looked, and she really does.
Only today. I'm in shape
only for the
today.
1 day. She's in shape for the 1 day. But she's going to fire some questions at me that we've talked about, that people ask, and we're going to give you some answers from my point of view, which is the masculine point of view, on the tender side of the Rick. So, that being said, let's go into our first question, Erin.
Okay, Rick, we've got some really great questions, and I just want to say I love this topic because my friend's getting married this weekend. Yay, congratulations, you know who you are. Okay, here we go. First question. Let's see. I have been online dating and find that I'm not too interested in one serious committed relationship right now. Mostly because I've been recently divorced and I want to take my time finding someone. And I have gone on several dates here and there with a couple gentlemen who I enjoy hanging out with, blah, blah, blah. Each gentleman has different qualities. I'm not sure who has a better fit for me. So how do I tell them I'm not ready for a serious commitment yet? What do I do? So yeah, she's having some trouble, basically. Some of these guys want to commit to her, and she's not ready for that. So how does she deal with that?
Well, I have a friend going through the same thing right now. You know, I came out of a marriage and a few years back, and I felt to take some time for myself, which I really did, and I thought that was a really good time for me to get to know me and what I really wanted, because you don't want to fail. Not that you do fail at something, it just doesn't work out in your favor or the favor of the other person, and it's hard to make that commitment. And so it's not that you don't want a relationship, you really do, but you want it with the right person. And when you move along through life and you meet this one, they have a good quality, you meet this one, they have a good quality, you meet that one, they have a good quality, that's all fine and dandy, but it's not the total package. You need to have that complete feeling from the other person that they give you, that you give them. That's difficult, and sometimes when you're looking for it, you're really trying to make that stretch for it to happen, it doesn't happen. It has to happen on its own. A friend of mine called me today who's going through the same thing, and what the problem I see on his point of view is he's making bad choices. He's choosing the wrong people all the way down the line, and he needs to get out of that mold. And the same thing with you. You need to get out of that mold of choosing the wrong guys. Not that they're wrong, but they're wrong for you. It's just the way it is. You'll know when the right one comes along. It's like buying a pair of shoes. Sometimes they hurt your toes, they hurt your heels, you get blisters, you got flat feet, but when the shoe fits, you'll wear it all day long. And it's the same thing with this commitment in a relationship. When you have the right person, you'll want to be with that person all the time, and you'll know it's right. It's the right fit for the right shoe, for the right foot, for the right person, for the right relationship. And that's the commitment you're going to make at the time when that happens.
I love it, Rick. I mean, I think so too. I don't think you should ever be forced into getting into a relationship. Like, these guys are trying to, like, wife her, and she's like, I'm not ready. I think that's really smart that she's going with her gut there.
Well, on that note, also, you don't want to jump in and right away you're looking for a wife or a husband. And the guys who are dating her also don't want to bring up wife right away. You got to get to know somebody, and sometimes it takes a few years, and even then you don't know them. And it's a long, long process. Everybody puts their best foot forward in a relationship. As you get older and you get to know yourself, when you put your foot forward, it's the real you. And people want to know the real you. So you've got to be really open and honest, and even if it's good or bad or ugly, like the movie, you got to show it all, because they're going to see that eventually. You can't keep that wall up forever, and then they'll know what it's all about. Now, these guys that you're dating are probably putting their best foot forward. You got to get to know them. You got to know who they really are and their weakest and worst moment to see if you want to put up with that. And if you do, and if you love them that much, then you'll know that's the right person. But everybody has these little skeletons, and they got to come forward once in a while, usually at Halloween.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All All right, shall we move to the second question?
Why don't we move to the second question, Erin? Oh, chat girl diva.
All right, let's do this. Yes. Okay, here we go. Also having to do with relationships. My girlfriend wants me to move in together, but I'm a little nervous because that seems like a big step. And even though we are in an exclusive, committed relationship, I'm definitely nervous that this could ruin a good thing. Should I move in with my girlfriend even though I'm a little nervous about it? That's a really great question.
It's a great question. There's several different answers to that. Living together changes the dynamics of a relationship. You can't leave the bathroom door open all the time now. That's a big factor. There's things that are personal that you don't want to reveal maybe right now. As time moves on, you can. It's just one of those things that you got to take your time to do. Living with somebody is difficult. Living in a family is difficult. You know, mom and dad and the kids and everything. Sometimes you don't get along and you want to be on your own. I think that if you give it time, don't rush into it, stay over a couple of nights here, a couple of nights there, back and forth until you feel comfortable enough to wake up in the morning with that person and start your day, because you have a routine and they have a routine. The routines have to match. If they don't match, it throws your whole day. You become discombobulated, in my term. So you've got to have things that fall into place. And when they do, you'll know it's right. It's just moving in together isn't always the answer. Definitely not the answer. However, if you're going to get married, I suggest living together first. Boy, is that old school, new school.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Is that you suggest moving in together before getting married, or living together before getting married?
I would definitely suggest it. You know, when it comes time for my daughter to make that decision, she's had a few boyfriends and they stayed over, and after a while, it's like she's upset with them because they've stayed and she got to know them better. If you don't move in with them, if you don't live with them for a while, you're never going to get to know their habits. What if you get married and they move in and always 6 weeks later you say, God, I can't live with this person. It's horrible. And you've got that commitment. Try to get divorced after getting married. It's the worst thing in the world. It's a lot of sticky stuff to get out of something.
Yeah, that's so true. So what do you suggest for this guy, though? Do you think he should maybe upset his girlfriend and say, I'm not ready to move in yet? Or do you think that he should just go along? Because what if it causes like a breakup? Like, what's that about?
Well, if it causes a breakup, then he's not ready for it, or she's not ready for it. You know, I always put that at risk. If it's going to end up in a breakup, so be it. If it's not going to work out right, I mean, if you make this move and you're scared to death to speak up, if you're scared to death to speak up now, you'll be scared later. You've got to speak up now when you lay down the ground rules and you know your perimeters and you know your what you can do and what you can't do. If you're hiding it inside of you all the time, you're never going to be happy. You'll never speak up about other things in your relationship, and pretty soon you've got this big pimple that turns into a boil and then it explodes. All hell breaks loose, and then that's the end of the relationship. It's all over the floor, brother.
Ew.
So,
Ew. Okay, I think let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
By the way, that was great, Rick. You do have a really great mixture of tough and tender. It's really great.
I
Because you
do.
are this tough guy on the outside, but then you have this big heart.
I do.
So this is a great one for you because you are a father.
Yes.
It's a parent-child commitment question.
Yes.
Here we go. Recently, my 16-year-old son has not been coming home by the curfew time that I've set for him and my other children. I threatened to ground him if he doesn't come home by 10 p.m., and he doesn't seem to care if I ground him or not. How do I get him to listen to the house rules? That's tough. You're on your own on this one.
Okay, I have two sons that are older now, and when they were 15, 16 years old, they were scared to death of me because I was wrestling, and they came with me, and they saw me kick ass. But at home, I gave them a lot of love. We were very open about our relationship. We talked about everything. They could come to me with any problem that they had. I would go and I'd console them. I kissed them. I loved them. I told them 10 times a day how much I loved them, how much they meant to me. So they never crossed that line. A couple of times they stayed out later, and they had to have a damn good excuse. Otherwise, I would ground them. And if that's the case, they're not going to leave the house. It's a tough situation because they'll sneak out and they'll pull all kinds of stuff. So you have to take something away that's really valuable to them. It has to be really something good. Usually it would be their iPhone, you know, or their computer. So they can't chat, they can't go online, they can't communicate. Once you take that away, they're cut off from the world. So they can't even make a plan to go out. So they're stuck at home.
Yeah, that's great. Technology. Take away technology.
Take away
I think
technology.
That's
right.
all you can do, right?
One of the biggest factors I use for any situation is duct tape and WD-40 because it seems to solve all the problems.
All right, he's not serious, everybody. He's not serious.
No,
okay?
I am serious.
All right, he's serious. All right.
Okay.
All right, shall we move on to the next question?
Let's do that.
All right, fantastic. Here we go. Another parent-child commitment question. My dad picks me up from band practice. I think this is a young girl. After school, but he's always late. I hate waiting for him, especially when all of my friends have already gone home, so I'm at school waiting by myself for him. Is there anything I can do to get my dad to pick me up on time?
Yes,
That's really sad.
Well, you got to tell him to stop seeing his girlfriend. That's what's going on there. He's making other plans with somebody else, and that takes a priority over your being picked up. No, I'm kidding, but that does happen. I've seen that happen before. A world today is very unsafe for kids in schools and staying after and waiting on the school ground or waiting by the curb. Anything can happen. You have to instill in your father, look, I'm young. I'm not in a safe place. I need you there to protect me. So you better damn be on time or I'm taking your car away. And so maybe he'll show up by that point because it's true. Yeah, these are your kids. These are your life. They depend on you just like little dogs and cats at home that you feed. Your kids depend on you to feed them and be there to protect them. So you better be on time because someone's going to whisk them away and you're never going to see them again. So I would say, yes, you have to have this talk. You don't feel secure and you don't feel safe without him being there. Make sure he's there.
Yeah.
Put gas in his car if you have to.
There you go. Right. I mean, that's a tricky one, though, because I think that, as you get older and you blossom into an adult, you feel more comfortable having that kind of conversation with your parents. But it's hard when you're a kid to bring that up. But you're right. She needs to bring that up.
Exactly.
Nip it in the bud, girl. Nip it in the bud. Love it.
Yes.
Okay. I think by your pause, it means that we should move on to the next question.
That would be the case.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're shifting into friend-related commitment questions, which is great. In Los Angeles, I have a lot of issues. I've had a lot of issues with friends, so let's jump right in. Here we go. I am really frustrated because I have a lot of friends who never commit to going out. Living in LA, this person lives in LA, everyone is busy and stuff, but I'm so sick of hearing maybe when I try to organize group outings. Is there anything I can do to stop my friends from being so flaky? I mean, who knows? Because I have problems with that too here. Everyone flakes. It's crazy.
Well, maybe means no. I even tell my boys when they say, you want to do something, they say maybe. Maybe means no. Yes means possibly, and definitely means pretty sure. Friends are like that. It's funny that you bring that up because I have friends in a small town where I grew up who always ask to see me. Now, we're older now. They always want me to come there and visit, come and visit. They never come to LA. And then when I find out they do come to LA, they drive right past my house and they don't even stop. All right, so one time I said, okay, I will be there. I'm there Saturday night, 3 weeks from now. I'm wrestling at the Veterans Hall in Oildale. 10 people. You want to see me? Come down. I'll get you in for free. You can sit in the front row, scream, and throw bottles at me, and we'll all go out afterwards. Oh, great. We're going to come out and see you. We can hardly wait to see you. You know how many showed up? 2.
I hate it.
8 of them on a Saturday night said, I didn't feel like going out. I fell asleep. I had to work the next day. I had a hard day. And they were 3 minutes from the auditorium, and I drove an hour and a half there to see them. And I don't get it.
It's the worst.
It's to this day, it's still, they don't answer emails. They tell me that what a great friend I am because I stay in touch. Do they stay in touch with me? No. I've been told to cut them loose, get rid of them, get rid of that dead weight out of my head. And it's hard because they're friends, and and that's the tender side of me is the fact that I like to hold my friendships. But I'm getting to a point where I'm thinking it's not even worth it anymore. So when you ask these people to go out and do stuff, and they keep saying maybe no, maybe no, maybe no, forget about it. Maybe one day they'll call you and ask you. Finally, things have turned around on me. I have a couple of guys that'll call me, hey, you want to go to dinner? Want to get coffee? I don't have to do the calling anymore.
Yeah.
So when you have to do the calling all the time and you get no response, stop calling.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rick. I have a tough and tender side too, and I hate that crap. It's like, come on, either you commit or guess what? Maybe that just shows how interested they are in being my friend or not interested, as it were, So I'm with you.
Everything else takes a priority, and the priority at the time isn't really that important to them that you be a priority. And in your mind, you are a priority to them, but apparently you're not. So you know what? Those aren't good friends. They're going to go buy their own dinner.
Exactly. You can buy your own dinner, Rick
or
says.
The other solution is you go buy dinner, send them the check, and have them send you a check for it.
Even better.
Even
I love
better.
it. Rick, you're on fire today,
I
seriously. All right, let's go to our last commitment question, friend-related commitment question, if we have time. Do we have time? I think we have time,
we have
right?
time.
Okay, here we go. I have a very busy schedule, and because I work freelance, it's sometimes hard for me to commit to social engagements far in advance. So this is the opposite of the previous question. I know that this frustrates some of my friends. How can I get them to understand that my work schedule doesn't allow me to plan weeks beforehand? I actually struggle with this myself, Rick, because I'm all freelance, and so I only can have friends that get my schedule, within reason. What do you think?
Well, I don't like to plan in advance at all. I mean, there's things that come up. This show I have to plan in advance, And you know me, I like to call it as I go. All the years I wrestled, guys want to plan what we're going to do in the ring. We got 20 minutes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. What if you get in the ring and you forget what you're doing? I like to call it as I go. That's how things work for me. Now, if you give me a party 3 weeks from now, I'm marking on my calendar, I know I have to go. Sure, that's fine. If you ask me what I want to do 3 weeks from now, I can't tell you. I don't know how I'm going to feel 3 weeks from now. That Friday before the Saturday, I might change my mind and want to go somewhere else. That's just me. It's really hard to plan in advance. And then things like this come up, and other shows come up, and other commitments, this, or I had a hard workout that day and I'm really beat. You know, life changes things. You have everyday commitments and things just change your mood and your feelings and your health and whatever over time. So it's kind of hard to keep the commitment long term, although if it's a big event, I'll definitely keep it. It's just I don't like to plan things with someone 3 weeks from now. Well, we had planned something with a dinner with somebody 3 weeks in advance. You know, that week they said, oh, we can't make it. We got something else to do. Okay, I'm off the hook. But that's okay. I mean, I was okay with that because there's always something else. Unless it's something really vital, then you should keep that plan. Otherwise, if it's not an important plan, things change.
Yeah, I think there's a balance to be struck. I think you're absolutely right. You know, there needs to be a respect between you and your friends, but also I think you need to be a little bit flexible with your friends as well, depending on what they're doing and what commitments they already have. Commitment, that's the show, right?
Yeah, well, the commitment, there's one other commitment I want to talk about, and we've talked about this prior to this, is emails. Now, everybody has a computer, and people are on their cell phones all day long, and they have text, they got email, they got this stuff. I don't understand when you email somebody or you text somebody who is a friend, they never get back to you. It might be 2 days later, 3 days later, or not at all. I don't understand that. To me, that's not a friend. And you're committed in a friendship. I send you something, respond and send back to me. Get to know and understand that people want to hear from you. When somebody sends you something, respond to them. Let them know you got it. Whatever it's, oh, thank you so much. I got it. I received it. You're my friend. But when you ignore it, it just shows that you don't even care.
I know. I'm guilty of that sometimes, Rick.
I hate
don't hate me. Don't hate me. I call you back, though. When you call me, I call you back.
Yes.
So we're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, you do call me back. But I'm talking about old friends since childhood that I do keep updated on my activities, and I don't hear from them at all. There's not even a response, oh, that was wonderful. Or do you like our show? Isn't it a great show? No comment. Yeah. And it came to my attention that there's a certain amount of envy or jealousy that I moved on. You know, some friends in small towns are like that. And even friends in big towns are like that. They see you doing stuff and they don't know what to say, so there's no reply. But even a reply is, hey, I'm great to hear you. Thank you so much. It keeps your friendship alive, and then it keeps that commitment alive as well.
I think that's a great topic for maybe another show, Rick.
Yeah,
like jealousy and that kind of thing, dealing with that, because that can be tough. Absolutely.
Very.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people jealous of my hair. But, you know, this is the way it is. I always look my best.
Yes, you have a beautiful head.
Yes,
a beautiful
I do.
Bald head, Rick. Yes. Fantastic.
Well, those are the questions and those are the answers on Tuff and Tender. I gave you the tough side, the tender side. This is how we deal with life. There are so many subjects we can talk about because every day there's new things that come up. I'll leave here and something will come on my cell phone I'll have to respond to in a certain way. Should I be tough about it? Should I be tender about it? But my tip of the week to you is take people in romance, take them in your family, take them as friends, and treat them with the respect and the tenderness and the commitment that you want them to treat you with. Because you committed to them, they should commit to you. If you commit to them and stay with it, they will eventually commit to you back again. And I think that's the way to handle life.
I love it. I totally agree. Great note to end on.
Yes.
You're the man, Rick. Tough and Tender. I love it.
Yes, that's it. I want you to stay tuned next Friday at 1 o'clock for Tuff and Tender with Ric Grayson and Erin Tillman, my diva chat girl, where we can go over more things and more experiences in relationships, romance, family, counselors, school, teachers, whatever you want to talk about, we've got it. You can call in and chat with us. I'll give you the answers that I think work because I've lived a long time and experienced a lot, and that's my point of view, and I'm pretty logical, and it's the tender side of the tough guy. So watch us on emPOWERme.tv. We're here every Friday at 1. You can catch me on Twitter, Ric Grayson. You can catch me at RicGrayson.com, RicksCorner.com, Facebook. I'm all out there. Erin, you're at the same place, right?
Yes, yes. Also known as the Dating Advice Girl. We didn't mention that. So find my website, thedatingadvicegirl.com. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those sites as well.
Erin, you also have a book out.
I do. My book is called The Dating Guidebook. So go to thedatingguidebook.com. It's basically tips for living a happy and healthy single life without losing yourself in the dating process, because that can happen sometimes when we really like somebody. So just tips to help you navigate.
Also on my website, RickGrayson.com, I have a book on bodybuilding. It's called Bodybuilding for Dumbbells. It's $10. It's a download. Tells you all the things we did in the 70s to develop your body into something muscular, like we did with Arnold back in the day. I have books on wrestling, videotapes, pro wrestling, become a pro wrestler. You go on my website, you'll find my store. You'll find plenty. And thank you for watching, and stay tuned next week again, Tuff and Tender at 1 p.m. on emPOWERme.tv. Thank you for watching. Hi, I'm Ric Grayson, Tuff and Tender. I'm here to answer all your questions on dating, relationships, the good side, the tough side, the tender side. Every Friday, 1 p.m. on emPOWERme.tv. I'd love for you to subscribe. I'll be here. We'll be discussing relationships and dating and all the good, the bad, the pitfalls, and the ugly of it. Stay tuned and watch me next Friday, 1 p.m. emPOWERme.tv. Subscribe now.